He was really about to beat this rat's ass. For me. For his family. My dad walked into the closet, he closed the door behind him, and then there was a silence. We all have things in life that we're scared of. It's normal. Some people are scared of heights, and some people are scared of, I don't know, clowns. Those can be pretty scary. I mean, shit. I'm scared of anything that's supernatural. I repeat, I do not fuck with ghosts. So all y'all Ouija board using motherfuckers, stay the fuck away from me. Y'all need Jesus. Y'all need church. Y'all need... But anyway, fear is just something that's in our DNA. Unless you're a father. You see, dads, they're the only people on earth that are supposed to be completely fearless. At least that's what they want us to think. A man is supposed to be a man. Who else is gonna check under the bed for the boogeyman? Or go on the top of the roof to fix the leak for your house? Fathers are supposed to be the front line of defense for everything. I almost feel bad for them. I mean, these guys can't catch a break. But it's all a part of the image. Until it's not. This story takes place back when I was about 9 or 10 years old. At the time, my parents were still together. And I can honestly say we were a pretty typical happy family at the time. And like most families, when things go wrong, the dad's usually the one to fix it. And sometimes it's just out of their pride alone. Like my dad in particular, he was a cool dad. And what comes with being a cool dad is always trying to look cool in front of your kids, especially us, because it was just me and my 2 younger brothers. So you can imagine that he was definitely trying to flex for his 3 younger boys. We looked up to him. But man, he was the type of person, if the toilet wasn't working, my mom would probably suggest, let's call a plumber, a professional that deals with toilets. But nah, the dad ego was just too strong. My dad would have zero idea how to fix a light bulb, much less a toilet. But of course, he would take on the challenge because he had to show his children that he knew how to lead the ship in the right direction. And sometimes that came with a price to pay. So one morning in particular, my mom woke me up for school, just like any regular school day, and I went to the kitchen to fix myself a bowl of cereal. And bruh, I kid you not, sitting dead center in the kitchen, staring right into my soul, was a rat the size of a fucking basketball. This nigga was on steroids, bruh. We lived in Florida, but it looked like this nigga flew straight from New York. Master fucking Splinter. This guy was huge, and I'm just staring at him because I've never actually seen a rat in person before, especially not in my house. You see stuff like this on TV, and I always thought to myself, why are people so afraid of these things? I mean, sure, he was like bigger than the regular ones, but he doesn't look all that. Whoa, what the fuck? This nigga started running around in circles and shit. My heart dropped to my damn sack. That had to be the scariest shit I had ever experienced in my life. Next to flying roaches. Them niggas can get me to move out. No cap. So my mom comes running into the kitchen to see me standing on the tables, and she's like, what in the world are you doing? What happened? There was a rat. It was big. And it started moving around and shit. I don't know. It was scary. Now, my mom was definitely concerned because everyone knows if you see one rat, them niggas don't move solo dolo. They definitely got a whole gang with them for sure. And they live in rent free. So we went and got my dad and we updated him on the predicament. My mom suggested we should just get an exterminator. And I ain't no rat professional or nothing, but it sounded like a pretty good idea to me. But by the look on my dad's face, we could tell he had other plans. Listen, I don't need no exterminator. I grew up in Jamaica. I used to have to chase stray dogs out the garden. I could handle some rodents. But I don't think he understood. This wasn't a stray dog. It was a rat. Potentially rats. So fast forward later on that day, my dad went and got a bunch of mouse traps, and I helped him lay them all out around the house the night before we went to bed. So when we woke up the next morning and all the traps, I mean all of them, were missing, I was high-key shook as fuck. That means these rats were just getting hit by the traps and just eating that shit. Like, bro, they didn't even care. They running around the house with half traps on their body and shit. These things are monsters, but they had to be stopped. It was getting to the point where I was having trouble sleeping at night knowing these things were just running around the house. I started sleeping with double socks on because I had this weird idea that these rats were gonna come eat my toes off at night. I didn't want to be toeless. My dad could tell how worried I was, so he got down on one knee, put his hand on my shoulder, looked me in my eyes and said, "Don't worry, son. Your father is going to eliminate these rats." I felt reassured. So after camping out in the kitchen waiting for Master Splinter to show his face again, he finally showed up. My dad stepped out to challenge him. So my dad started chasing him around the kitchen and then into the living room. And somehow we ended up in my parents' bedroom. My dad had finally cornered him into one closet. One way in, one way out. There was no more running. Dad looked back at me and said, "Son, watch this." I was in straight awe. Never have I felt more secure. He was really about to beat this rat's ass. For me. For his family. My dad walked into the closet. He closed the door behind him. And then there was a silence. Oh, shit! Oh! Damn! Oh! Fuck! Ah! It literally sounded like a war zone in this closet. But the problem was, it didn't sound like we were winning. Then all I see is this rat's body slide from underneath the door. It was the nastiest shit I had ever seen in my life. I opened up the closet and I just see my dad laying there on the floor, defeated. Clothes was everywhere. Shelves were broken. The rat had won, and my dad's pride, it was broken. So my mom ultimately called an exterminator, and me and my mom kind of never let my dad live it down, man. He got bodied by a rat. Lighthearted jokes, of course, because it's not like we would have done any better, that's for sure. But it was a pretty funny experience. Love you, Dad. Moral of the story, nothing's wrong with trying to prove a point, but sometimes you have to learn not to let your pride get the best of you. Work smarter, not harder.